blow which you want to hear again and again.
All right, welcome back to another episode of the In Between Overs podcast. We're your hosts for the day's play. As always, I'm Taran.
And I'm Ishan.
Okay, switching gears from the Test match series over to T20Is. We got India versus England starting 22nd Jan at Eden Gardens, Kolkata. We're going to be diving into the squad announcements today. Some surprises on both sides, and we're going to unpack how we think the series is going to go down.
Yeah, crazy how another series is already right before us, and interesting how it's right before the Champions Trophy. So, and then which is also right before the IPL. So, interesting times. England in India, which is always exciting. So, and hey, two very strong sides. So, I think it'll be an exciting series from both the T20 perspective and then also the ODI perspective.
Yeah, I think we're going to see a lot of the players that are going to be coming up in the IPL. So a lot of them, and some of them are not on an IPL team, more so on the England side. So probably an auditioning time for them to get picked up last minute.
Yeah. Definitely showtime now. So, expecting some great performances from the England side.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be a great series, I think, especially because it's 5 T20Is. And I hope it'll be one of those where it's like back and forth, and it gets decided in the final one. Because the last thing you want is one of the teams going away with starting with like 3 wins and then you have 2 dead rubbers. No one wants that.
No, the dead rubber is such bad for the sport. Like it's from an audience perspective and from the players' perspective as well. They're not really putting in their 100% effort, and it's always a risk of an injury as well. But no, looking forward to a great contest, and I think the squads are very strong. So I think a lot of good bowling and a lot of good batting is waiting for us.
Absolutely. Let's dive into the squads. So both teams announced their T20I squads. Let's start. Where do you want to start, India or England?
How do we start in India?
All right, let's do it. So, what are your initial thoughts when you heard the squad?
Very strong. I think India's T20I depth is incredible. You have batters who are both left-handed, right-handed, and
Let's
a
name
lot
the
of.
squad.
You want to name the squad?
Yeah. No,
Let's do
like the squad that was announced. The squad that was
Yeah.
announced, and then we can go from there. So the squad that was announced, you have Surya Kumar Yadav, Sanju Samson, Abhishek Sharma, Tilak Varma, Nitish Kumar Reddy, Mohammad Shami, Arshdeep Singh, Harshit Rana, Dhruv Jurel, Rinku Singh, Hardik Pandya, Axar Patel as vice captain, Ravi Bishnoi, Varun Chakravarti, and Washington Sundar.
Very strong, and I loved how you made a little emphasis there on Axar Patel's vice captain. Well deserved, or do you think someone else overlooked, someone like a Hardik Pandya?
Okay, so it was surprising given the fact that Hardik Pandya is in the team. And I think we were talking offline. For some reason, I thought Hardik wasn't there. And then I realized he's there and he's not vice captain. And so that was surprising. It kind of, it's interesting to think about what the selectors are thinking here. And I feel Akshar has been rewarded for his consistency in all formats for the last couple years and his performance in the World Cup, which feels like a lifetime ago, but the World Cup was literally last summer, 2024, and India won, and he was a difference maker throughout the campaign with ball, bat, and in the field. I'm just remembering that catch in the England semi-final where he outstretched his
Oh
hand.
yes.
Remember that one right at the
Yeah,
boundary line?
yeah.
So I think it's reward for that. It's also reward for consistency in terms of staying fit. He isn't as injury prone as Hardik. We're used to Hardik breaking down, right? So I wonder if all that had an impact on him getting the nod over Hardik.
Yeah, that's a great point about Hardik's injury, because if you recall as well, during the ODI World Cup in India, Hardik missed a good portion of that due to injury. And, that was a big blow for India. So I see your point, and I do have to agree with you. Axar is well deserved. He's been, I would say, overshadowed by a lot of the bigger personalities on the team throughout the years, but he's been a great servant for Indian cricket across formats. And to your point, he'll bring that experience, but you do have to feel a little bit for Hardik Pandya, especially anything to do with captaincy or vice captaincy surrounding him. He gets it for Mumbai Indians, people cause an uproar. He doesn't get it for India as a vice captain. People cause an uproar, right? So
Yeah,
let's just hope it doesn't affect his performance because, Hardik Pandya, a fit Hardik Pandya in a T20 squad is worth its weight in gold, right? So, you wish for him
absolutely.
to perform the best.
Yeah, absolutely. Any other surprises for you?
But I do want to take a moment here and welcome someone back into the squad, Mohamed Shami. I know we
Yes.
wanted to see him in Australia. Unfortunately, he was still
Yes.
injured then, but I think it's great for him to come back. I know his
His hair is back too. Yeah.
I think it'll be nice for him to get fit and get into the groove right before the Champions Trophy because I know India would love to see him there. But yeah, I think from Mohamed Shami. What about you? Anyone pique your interest? I see Dhruv Jurel there. Any comments on him by any chance?
Not really, just because the announcements did share that they rested a few players from the Border Gavaskar series. It makes sense. They were
Yes.
there for at least a couple of months, and I'm sure mentally and physically they probably need a break. So Rishabh Pant's not there. He was in the T20 winning team, so he's not there. Meaning Sanju Samson continues to be the number one choice after him, and I think Dhruv Jurel is there as backup, which makes sense. He's been the backup for a while now
Mm-hmm.
in most formats. And I hope he stays that way. He seems like a solid player. I hope he gets enough opportunities, and when he does, he plays well because in situations like that, like you see scenarios where people warm the bench, are there as bench warmers, and then when they get the chance, they don't really take advantage of it. And then some other wicketkeeper or bowler or batsman out of nowhere comes up, does well, and takes your spot just because they failed in the one innings that they got a chance to play. Right. So I hope that doesn't happen. But I think his is justified. Then you had other rests with Shubman Gill,
Mm-hmm.
Sri Jaiswal's not there. So with regards to the team that they took, I don't see any surprises. I know Rian Parag's missing, but
Yes.
he's injured. At first, I was surprised, but then it was shared that he's injured, so that's all right. Hopefully, he recovers well. And then it looks like the other players are the same ones that they had taken to Zimbabwe, South Africa, and even the Sri Lanka series that they played, the T20I. So a lot of players from there. Some others that are missing, Ramandeep Singh, I think he was in there just because one of the all-rounders, I don't know who, but was missing from the last series in South Africa because they went to prepare for the Australia series. I think it might have been NKR. And
Mm-hmm. I
then,
believe it was NKR as well. I don't think he would play
yeah,
that series.
yeah. Jitesh Sharma, yeah, I'm not surprised by his miss out. I think Jurel definitely takes the spot over him. Avesh Khan, Yash Dayal, Vijay Kumar Vaishak, yeah, with the return of Shami and a couple of the other bowlers. I think Harshid Rana, I don't think he was in the squad last time. Or maybe he wasn't, didn't play. So to see him retain his spot is interesting. Maybe they like what they saw in Australia.
I think so as well. I think, they might put some more effort into him and investment into him. Getting him both working in both formats, right? I think it's unfortunately one of those things because Avish Khan, he's great as well. But
I
sometimes,
never liked Avesh Khan.
he did
He's hit
offer a
or
little bit.
miss.
Yeah, he's hit
Yeah,
or miss, right? And
yeah,
so unfortunate for him, but kudos to the management to sort of try to mix it up, right?
yeah, yeah, absolutely. I think it's a good mix. It's a stacked team. I feel like they've covered all bases. Anybody or any slot that you feel like is missing, or do you feel like it's a well balanced squad as a whole?
That's a great question. I think you have some explosive openers, and you have options there, and you have some great batters in the middle, and from a all rounder perspective as well. You have NKR, you have Hardik Pandya, so two world class all rounders. You have finishers. Rinku Singh is still in the squad, right? And then obviously you have world class bowling options with Arshdeep Singh and Shami as well. We didn't even count Bumrah. Bumrah's
I
rested as
know.
well,
I was just thinking that. Yeah,
right?
Boomer's
So
rested
I
as well.
think I think I think we're good. Did you want to maybe perhaps walk through your 11? Do you have an 11 in mind for India potentially?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it.
My 11 for India is as follows. All right. So I got Sanju and Abhishek at the top. I think that's a no brainer. Surya at 3, another no brainer. Tilak at 4. I feel like they may swap. 3 or 4. I'm
Left
okay
hand,
with either or.
left hand, right hand.
Yeah, I think it'll probably depend on who gets out first, Sanju or
Exactly.
Abhishek, right? Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's my top 4. I think that won't change for the entire series. And then number 5, I have NKR at 5. I was debating between him and Hardik. Again, I'm okay with either or. I'm playing both of them. So I'm playing Nitish Kumar Reddy at 5, Hardik at 6. Just
Okay.
from Nitish Kumar's form, I know it's a different format, but he did show glimpses of T20 prowess in the test series, right? Where with some of his shots that he hit. And I feel like he did enough before that as well in the limited overs format to justify a selection in the 11. So I think him at 5, Hardik at 6. So essentially, I'm saying Nitish Kumar is playing instead of Rian,
Yep.
right?
I'm
Because
aligned. Yeah.
Rian would have played otherwise. I
He
feel,
would have. He would have. He
right?
would have.
So Nitish at 5, Hardik at 6, Rinku at 7, Axar at 8. And this is where I was debating, but since they're playing in India, I feel like they'll play another spinner, so Varun Chakravarti, and then 2 seamers, Mohammad Shami and Arshdeep, with Hardik and NKR playing that third, fourth seamer role, depending on the situation.
Squad, and the reason I'm saying that is because I have the exact same squad as well.
No way.
I have
We did not plan this. We did not
plan this.
We did pick it at the same time, but we did not see each other's squads, so that's great.
No. I had the exact same thoughts, and I had like the exact same options, right? Especially even with the points of the 3 and 4 potentially switching based on who gets out. I think in mine I had Shami at 11, Arshdeep Singh at 10, but I think to your point, I think they'll probably bring in Shami before Arshdeep in batting. But
yeah, Harshdeep is a certified number 11. Like at least Mohammad Shami can hit a couple of sixes. Actually, that's not true. I'm being harsh on Arshdeep. I've seen. Yeah. Never mind. No, never mind. I'm talking slack. Yeah. 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 All right, awesome. So we're on the same page. Be excited to see if India names the same 11. That would be amazing if it's the same 11.
I know. Should we go now towards the England T20I squad?
Yeah.
I can walk through those really quickly.
Yeah, let's walk through the entire squad first.
Yeah. So England, teams across both T20s and ODIs. We'll go through the T20s today. We got Jos Butler with the captain. We got Rehan Ahmed, Joffer Archer, Gus Atkinson, Jacob Bethel. I know he's someone's favorite. Wink, wink. Harry Brook, Bryden Cars, Ben Duckett, Jamie Overton, Jamie Smith. There's some good all-rounding options there. Liam Livingston, Adil Rashid, Saqib Mahmood, Phil Salt, and Mark Wood. So initial thoughts and reactions?
A good, solid squad. Initial impressions are people that are missing. Sam Curran's not in the team. He's been a staple in the England team for the last.
And they're playing
And
in
they're
India.
playing in India, yeah. And his bowling, I feel, is suited for those conditions. Similar to when they played in the West Indies. Now, obviously, neither of us follow England as closely, but I feel like perhaps he didn't do that well in in West Indies, that made them overlook him for this series. But he's the glaring omission. Also, Will Jacks. Will Jacks seemed to be someone that they tried to invest in, but he's missing from the team as well. Another player I think would have walked into this team, given that he bowls off and leg spin, that's Liam Livingston. But he bowls spin as well, but he's not in the team, which is interesting. They seem to have preferred Ben Duckett over him and Phil Salt. So those are my initial thoughts when I see it. I still like the team. I think they've covered a lot of bases. I feel like maybe they've picked one seamer too many and they're one spinner short. They only have 2 out-and-out spinners, Adil Rashid and Rehan Ahmed, and they're both the same type of spinners. So I wonder if they're going to bank on the all-rounders, and England are known for that. Jacob Bethel's the left-arm spinner, and Liam Livingston's
Liam Livingston's he's the one, right?
Right. So I feel like, and I know we're going to announce squads, but I feel like they are a lock in the 11. So you already have one spinner between the two of them. You know what I mean? Like they could share overs if one person's doing well, they pull a full quota. So I think from that standpoint, they probably went with just the 2 out-and-out spinners. And England's strength has always been seam. So they've picked 5 fast bowlers, right? Bryden Cars, Jamie Overton, who's an all-rounder, I guess,
Joffrey
Saqib
Archer.
Mahmood, Mark Wood, and Jofra Archer. Yeah, Jofra Archer.
Yeah.
So that's 5 out-and-out fast bowlers. So I feel they could have gone with 4 and an extra spinner. But again, it's England's strength to play seam, so I feel like it's justified.
Yeah, I think England as well. England's philosophy, especially for T20s, is I know we were talking about this off air. Invest in a lot of all rounders, right? I think they like to be efficient with the 11.
They
And
like
so
to have options.
they like to have options, right? So Liam Livingston, for example, we know how much of a servant he's been, not only from a batting perspective, from a bowling perspective, right? Yeah, he's done that across leagues as well. So I think he's gonna be, as you mentioned, he's gonna be a big part of this series.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I think he's huge. I think I would go to say that he's probably England's X factor or one of their main players. I know everyone talks about Harry Brook, but Liam Livingston can change the game from where he bats. And I think he's dangerous. And in the last year to 18 months, he's been very consistent.
No, and I think it comes with that experience, right? And so I think, to your point, I know we'll discuss about players to watch at the end of this pod, but he's definitely someone to watch throughout this entire series.
Absolutely. All right, so let's talk about our 11s for England. Do you want to
Okay,
go first this time? Yeah.
yeah, I can go first. So my England 11 would be Phil Salt and Ben Duckett starting it off, followed by Jos Butler, and then everyone's favorite Jacob Ethel. And then, okay, so I thought that was pretty locked in, and so now we'll move down now. So I got
Okay.
Harry Brook coming at 5, followed
Okay.
by Liam Livingston, and then you got Jamie Overton, Jofra Archer, Adil Rashid, Mark Wood, and Gus Atkinson.
Okay, so we pretty much have the identical 11 except for Mark. Who did you pick as your Atkinson?
I
So
got
I
Gus Atkinson. I like him.
okay. I had Bryden Cars instead. I had
Oh,
Bryden Cars.
nice,
Yeah, yeah.
nice. Yeah, he brings some great options as well. So okay, but from 1 to 10, we were good. We were aligned there as well.
Yeah, it looks like we are pretty
Wow.
much aligned. Yeah, yeah, 1 to 10. Other than Gus Atkinson, Bryden Cars, which you could argue it's probably you could probably play either of them. It doesn't really matter. Although they are different types of bowlers. Bryden Cars is probably more of a workhorse style bowler. I feel like he's great in the middle overs. I don't know how England use them or would use them. But for a fact, Jofra is opening the bowling. I could see that happening. I don't know if
And
Mark Wood's
I
the first
actually can't wait
change.
for that. And I can't wait for
Yeah.
that.
Oh yeah. And if Mark Wood's opening at the other end, that's like
Dude, that's blockbuster.
that's blockbuster against Abhishek Sharma and Sanju. Jeez, can't wait for that.
No, I agree. Some thoughts though, I wanted to ask you.
Yeah.
Uh, when I was making the list, and I know when we were talking about India, we're like, oh, India's stacked, right? Like a lot of
Yeah.
great players. But as I was making the England 11, and I was going through the batting list, especially, I'm like, they got some big hitters. What are your thoughts on on India's batting potential this series?
India's batting
Or
potential,
sorry,
I think.
England's
Oh,
batting potential. Sorry,
okay.
yeah, because I saw England's batting lineup, and they got some great hitters: Harry Brook, Liam Livingston, Phil Salt, some explosive batters. So what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a high scoring series, especially if India's going to lay out some flat decks and some of those smaller grounds like the Wankhede, cough, cough. We're going to see some big scores, big scores. And that's the thing with England, right? They have this like baseball mentality, and they've
Hmm.
carried this in every format. Brendan McCullum's now the white ball coach as well. So I'm not surprised by the picks, and it's gonna be helter skelter. I think from 1 to 11. Knowing England, knowing the way they've been playing, I feel like there's just gonna be non-stop hitting from ball one.
Yeah. I think you made some great points on the pitches as well. I do expect a little bit on the flatter side, sort of similar to the IPL pitches we saw last year with easy scores over 200, right? So yeah, I think we can expect some big numbers this series.
Yeah, yeah, and even if we look at, because we didn't talk about where they're playing, so they're playing at the most obvious grounds. Wankhede is always going to be in there. They have the fifth T20I. Hopefully, that's the decider. That'll be amazing at the Wankhede. So they're playing at Eden Gardens, Kolkata. Probably going to be a flat pitch. The Chennai pitch may offer some turn, so there's a possibility there of having more middling type targets. Who knows? Rajkot, I don't know much about, not going to lie. I don't know how that pitch is going to play out. I feel like it's going to be a flatty again. And then Pune might be a flatty. I'm
It's
expecting flatties for all five.
Pune's flatty as well.
Yeah.
A little plug here. I've actually been to the Pune Stadium. I've seen a cricket
Oh,
match
nice.
there,
Lucky you.
and very flat. That's all I could say last year.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. And usually for T20, they lay out flat decks because I noticed that in India, they want big scores and big hits in T20I, and very rarely do we get the slow turners. It'd be good to have at least one of them like that, because it just changes up the way the game will have to be played, right?
Gerard, what do you prefer? Do you prefer again? Let's talk about just a T20 game. Would you prefer a T20 game where it's big hitting and you have to chase big, or do you like one where the bowlers may have a slight advantage, whether it's
like
spinning or fast paced?
I like where both have an advantage, where there's something in for the bowler, something in for the just like test matches. Just like test matches, right? I love a 150 to 170 target where it's like, okay, both teams are still in the game. As soon as you get above the 200, it's like the other team has to start well. If they lose a couple wickets in the power
play,
yeah,
exactly.
power play is key. And like the game is decided there. And it's like, okay, you watch the first 6 overs. If the score is 30 for 2, game's done. Right.
Yeah,
And
I
don't like that. So I rather have like a 150 to 170, 180 even. And I feel like those games are more fun to watch because there's ebbs and flows just like you have in test match cricket.
I agree. And I think we kind of got that in the T20I World Cup this past year, where you had those 120, 130, 150, which, it's a little rocky. So you need to play well the entire second innings, not just the power play. So no, I agree. And even from a viewing perspective as well, it does keep you on the edge of your seat. So no, I do feel that, yeah, it has to be a little bit more of a balance, especially with the pitches in India.
And it forces batters to not just hit out all the time. Like it forces them to change their strategy according to the situation, right? Maybe you got to bat a few balls, get your eye in, maneuver to strike over, and then maybe go for some big hits, right? So you get different game plans, you get different strategies, you get different field placements, things of that nature when you have that type of a target versus you have a 200 plus total, and then the bowlers don't really have an advantage. And at that point, you're just trying to not get hit for 6. Like that's all you're trying.
No, I completely agree. I think some of those pitches are better suited for viewing. So no, I completely agree.
Awesome. Cool. So let's move on to talk about our anticipated man of the series. So we'll pick one for each team. Do you want to start first with India or England?
Yeah.
Up to you.
Yeah, no, I can start with England. I'm sorry, I can start with India. I think this series is very important for Abhishek Sharma. I think he has to continue his great form and he has to perform well against a big team like England. I think, he was part of the India A Asia Cup squad. He performed there. But again, if he's trying to be that elite opener for India, now that Rohit Sharma's not here, and he needs to really step up, right? So I definitely think Abhishek Sharma, this is a big series for him, and I think he would step up to the plate. So from India's side, Abhishek Sharma.
So he's your man of the series. Nice.
He's my man of the series. I think some big runs from him.
Yeah, and I think I understand your point because you have Jaiswal and Gill waiting in the wings, and that's that's all class right there. So if he wants to lock in, because I think Sanju's a lock for at least a year. Right? He's a lock for sure, given his recent form. So yeah, I like that pick. And I feel like he will step up.
What are your thoughts on India's man of the series?
So my pick for man of the series is going to be. I actually didn't think this through properly. So my man of the series is going to be Hardik Pandya. Yeah, I'm gonna go the why Hardik because I feel like he's getting lost now in Indian cricket. And I feel like he needs a good performance to show that, hey, he still belongs here. And I'm sure he feels the type of way for not getting the vice captaincy. And knowing Hardik Pandya, like he's going to step up, he's going to do well. And I feel like he's going to do well with both bat and ball. And he's going to show everyone that he deserves a spot. He probably deserves to be captain. And yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing him play for sure. So he's my man of the series.
And you're seeing good performances from him from both a bat and a ball perspective.
Yeah. Complete all-round performance.
Okay, no, hey, we're all hoping for that, right? We know how great of a player he is. Talk about the last World Cup, the last over. He really redeemed himself and the emotion. So no, I expect some big things from him as well because he is a legend of the T20I format for India, right? So okay,
Yeah.
no, I completely agree. I completely agree. So then, okay, let's stick with you. Stay with you, Toronto. Who is your man of the series from an England perspective?
All right. So from England side, I know you think I'm going to say this person, but actually I think it's going to
Jacob
be
Bethel.
it's going
Jacob
to be
Bethel.
Liam Livingston. It's not
Really?
going to be Jacob.
Okay,
It's going to
okay.
be I feel like he's been doing really well in the past year or so, and I think he's going to continue this form. He's you could say he is should be acclimatized with Indian conditions. He's been playing a lot of IPL the last few years. I think he'll do really well. I think we may even see some wickets from him as well. Remember, he's an off spinner and leggy, and he can be underrated, especially if the pitches offer a little bit of turn. He can be a handful. So my player of the series is going to be Leo Livingston.
Okay, no, I think that's a great pick. A lot of eyeballs will be on him, especially with such a big name. He's been in a lot of IPL editions. So to your point, he knows how all the pitches are, and he knows the crowd. So okay, I think that's a very fair pick. For me though, my England player to look out for, I think, is going to be Harry Brook. A
Ooh.
couple of opinions here on him. I think Harry Brook has really solidified his name for himself in Test cricket based on how he plays. But I think similar to Punt, it just hasn't 100% translated into T20Is, especially at the high level. And what I mean by that is, I know a lot of fans may not consider the IPL as high level. I think IPL from a T20 perspective is up there. If you look at the IPL, he's had, I think, one or two great innings, but apart from that, he's been a little mute. And so I think this is a big series for him, as you mentioned earlier, to really showcase his talent and to really show the world that no, I am an exciting and explosive player, not only in Test match cricket, but in the format that you think I would do best, T20Is. So I think he's definitely a player to look out for, and I'm expecting big things from him as well, just based on the fact that I think he still has a lot to prove.
Yeah, I can see that. Harry Brook has been talked as the next big thing, the next Joe Root, if you will, across the formats for England. And the one format that, as you said, that he has not stepped up yet in, I believe, is T20I. So I agree with you there. And this is an opportunity because all eyes are going to be on this series. We know that whenever India's playing, there's a lot of eyeballs watching. And this is his chance to really solidify his T20. No, because England have a lot of options for that middle order, and they're not afraid to chop and change players. But they believe in Harry Brook, and they have been investing in him for I think a couple of years now. So yeah, I like that pick.
Okay, no, that's great. That's great. Was there any other players from both India and England that you think we should keep an eye out for?
Yeah, so obviously now I'm going to say Jacob Bethel, right? So he is when I saw him play at the 100, and I don't know if you remember, but I messaged you,
You did,
and
you did.
this was before, like it was just
This
me
was
watching the game.
Imagine the 100, which was like last
Yeah,
summer. Before that,
it was
maybe.
last
Yeah,
summer. I watched one innings, and then I saw his brief history in the 100. The games before that, he had some starts, and I was like, and then when I watched that innings, I'm like, this guy is a player. Like he had all the shots, and the 100 is like T20. He wasn't bashing the ball. He was playing proper cricketing shots. He had the defensive game, you could tell, and he had the offensive game. And since then, he just rose through the ranks. Like he got picked for the T20Is, then he got picked for one days, then he got picked for the test team without much first class cricket, or nor did he score a first class 100.
I
That
know,
shows how much talent this guy has to be picked. There's been talk that Sir Garfield Sobers,
Sir
has
Garfield Silvers.
has literally said that like this kid is going to be the next big thing. And I think Brian
Wow.
Lara has said something along those lines as well. So like, and he's lived up to it. He went to New Zealand, played a couple test matches, made some great runs, missed out on 100 by a few runs, I think, made a couple 50s, played amazingly well, exceeded expectations, and he's consistently done well in the other formats as well. He scored important runs. He's also a handful with the ball, his left arm spin, and he's only 20, 21 years old. So definitely a player to keep an eye on.
Okay. No, I think he's one of those exciting young talents that we always talk about. So it's nice to see one from England really solidifying himself on the international scene. And no, I'm looking forward to seeing him. From my side, though, a little bit on the older age side now. I do want us to keep a close eye on Mohammad Shami. I do
Okay.
want to see if he still brings what he brings. Perfect seam position and setting up
He still got
batsmen
it.
if he's still got it, right? Because coming back from an injury, especially from a fast bowler perspective, it's a lot. Again, I haven't experienced that, but from a lot of interviews and readings, it's a big mental battle, right?
Yup,
And so I
100%.
right. So I think we should definitely keep an eye on him because he's in India's plans for the Champions Trophy and potentially the England Test series in the
Test
summer,
series.
right? Right, especially how those conditions suit him. So I think there's going to be a lot of eyes on his fitness and his ability. So I definitely think he's a player to look out for.
Yeah, that's a good pick. I think India need him to play well just because of not talking about limited overs, forget that. From a test standpoint, we need him to show signs of the Shami of old because we need him in the test team. We saw it in the BGT
We
series.
saw it.
In,
We saw it.
in India lacked that third option or second option, depending on how good Siraj felt like doing on a certain day. Right? So Mohammad Siraj is not in the team. Just remember that. He's not in the team.
Oh, he must have been rested, right? For
He
sure.
must be rested
He
too,
was,
yeah.
of course.
Yeah. So going back, yeah, I like that. I like that pick. Definitely want to watch out for Shami and his performances because that's going to shape the next 6 months, I think, for India.
100%. And if he doesn't live up to the mark, then India has a lot of head scratching to do to figure out how the next 6 months look. So no, definitely a lot of eyes on him. Tehran, slog sweep. What is your slog sweep for this T20I series against England in India? I think it's going to be a great series.
Well, I think it's going to be back and forth. I want it to be back and forth. I think because it's in India, it's hard to go against India. I know India got swept by New Zealand, completely different format. I don't see that happening here. I don't see England winning. I would say it's going to be 3-2 India.
3-2 India. Okay, and okay. And from my end, I'll give a quick prediction as
And
well.
and sorry, it's going to be decided in the fifth.
Adwankere, eh? Okay. Very nice, very nice. I unfortunately think that India will have the greater upper hand than England this series. I'm gonna go 4-1 for India.
Oof,
I'm gonna go 4-1.
4-1. Damn.
I think England might may win one of the dead rubbers.
Wow. Okay. Damn. You really think it? Okay. That's pretty cool. That's
He's back.
differing
He's
opinion.
back.
Shami's back. England's got Jacob Bethel.
That's true. That's true. A lot of different
Yeah.
players to see. Okay, fair
No,
enough.
I feel the IPL experience will help England, but I feel India's just ability to play in India is just gonna help them, right? And I feel they'll just have the edge over England because don't forget, England won the 2016. No, not one. They reached the finals in the 2016 World Cup that was played in India, and they only lost that because of Carlos Brathwaite
Carlos
remembering the name.
Bradford!
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So they have had good experiences in India, so you never know. Given the IPL experience, given how many of the England team players play in the IPL and are going to play in the IPL, I think it'll be a closely fought series.
Fair enough. I agree. And any slog swoops from your end, Tehran?
3-2 from a series perspective or from
No,
a
from a performance like this player's gonna
ooh
get this at least. That's where I'm going
okay
at. Should I give you mine?
okay
I'll give you mine first. Maybe I'll give
okay
you
you
some
go first
inspiration.
yeah
Usually, I do stick with batting slog sweep, so this will be my batting slog sweep as well.
okay
I think at least 200s for Team India, and Abhishek Sharma will at least get one.
wow
And
okay
you know how big hundreds are in a T20I series, right? Especially against England. So I want to go
yeah
two from Team India, and one of them from at least from Abhishek Sharma.
okay nice for me slog sweep I think we're going to see a hat trick We're going
Oh,
to see a
okay.
hat trick in the series. I don't know who it's going to come from, but if I were to pick one, gun to my head, Varun Chakravarti.
Wow, the mystery spinner. Okay.
Yeah, the mystery spinner. I'm
Interesting.
just thinking if they hold him back for the end overs, England trying to go for hits, him
That's
with
true.
his ability to spin the ball both ways, I think he has a high chance of getting a hat trick. So I'm going to go with that as my slog sweep. Can I pick another one?
Yeah, of course, of
I'll
course.
pick
Give me one more.
one from England's side. So my
Okay.
slog sweep. No, I'm not going Jacob Bethel. My slog sweep is going to be a Jos Butler being at the top run scorer for England.
Okay, so
Yeah,
you're thinking the captain is really gonna
yeah,
have to do some heavy lifting, eh?
yeah. I think again another that has a lot of experience playing in India,
A
and I
lot.
think if England need to do well or at least pose a fight, he has to play well at the top. So Jos Butler, top run scorer.
Okay, okay. So we got Jos Butler leading leading England's runs, and you have a hat trick potentially by Varun Chakravarti. Okay, two very different but two very exciting slog sweeps.
Yeah, yeah, awesome.
Nice.
Cool. So we can't wait. As you can tell by our excitement, it's going to be a fun series. T20s are always fun. Not as fun as Test match cricket, but still very much fun. And we look forward to sharing the game, sharing the after game reviews with you all after each game. And we are going to cover all of them. And until then, that's Stumps.